how I took on Dungeons and Dragons and kind of won.
Adventure waits for you in the Storymaster's tales.
How did I, as self-publisher, become the best-selling RPG system after Dungeons and Dragons? I'm going to reveal the story behind how my first game, The Storymaster Tales Wailing Woods, climbed to the second position on UK's Amazon RPG ranking. All this without a huge marketing budget, large social media following, or board game website reviews. I'm also going to tell you what I did when I was turned away by the world's biggest game manufacturers, and how I flipped it and turned it around. Stay till the end, and I'll also give you my top tips to how to get ahead of the competition. Now, the question echoing in your minds is, how did I do it? What fueled this ascent? Well, allow me to tell you. I've always been a huge fan of Dungeons & Dragons. I played it ever since I was about 12 years old, and the Fighting Fantasy series and Lone Wolf, all those kind of things. Now, although Dungeons & Dragons is an exemplar in its realm, it can be very daunting for novices who are seeking a swift, engaging RPG. Now, you must obviously know all the rules, and they can be quite encyclopedic. It also relied on other factors that made it playing hard. You needed a DM and other players who were like-minded, someone to buy the rules, which made a fair amount of financial outlay. You needed the time to learn all the rules and explain them to others. You must have had time also to dedicate to an adventure, let alone a campaign. This can sometimes mean committing to multiple days, weeks, or even years. So I set about creating an RPG that would be different. It would allow anyone to DM. It would let non-role players play, such as children and even granny, suitable for age 8 to adult. Be possible to learn and start playing in 10 minutes or less. Be really affordable to buy. As a tryout item or a gift that your favourite aunt or uncle might buy for you, plus shipping in 1 or 2 days. Now, I also want to be able to play in an evening, 1 or 2 hours or more if you wished, but it most importantly had to be fun, scary and magical. Now, the Storymaster Tales endeavoured to do all these things. And it also threw in solo and group play. As well as being different, I also want to add a few extra features that don't appear in most RPGs. Coming from an immersive theatre background, I knew how important music and narration played in my shows, so I produced soundscapes specifically for every game I designed. When I launched in 2021, I made sure it had an eye-catching, bold design that would stand out on a phone display, but also evoke fairy tale books of old. Very quickly it took hold, and I got wonderfully positive reviews. Word of mouth started to build, not amongst the RPG communities, but families and schools. You know, the old-fashioned way. Now, I mentioned the world's biggest publisher at the start of this piece, the one that turned me away. Yep, that was Asmodee, who dismissed the viability of family RPGs. Obviously, I chose to ignore this advice, as I firmly believed there was a market out there. One that wanted their kids to get in role-playing, and also those who were casual role-players. Thankfully, my gamble was correct. I've since found that there are many types of people who play it. Hardened D&D clubs and child beginners. In fact, I have been contacted by several teachers who now use it in the classroom. If you're wondering what the game is like, well, you can try it out for free. And if you like it, obviously you can buy it later on. What now? Well, the Storymaster Tales has been published in Polish and Italian, and I'm currently working on my latest RPG, Folklore Realms, which again I will do differently to other RPGs. So, what do you do if you want to get ahead of the competition? Now, these are my top tips. Look for something that is popular and has a fan base. If there's an existing audience, you already know there is a market. This also means there will be websites, group pages, and people who might be excited to spread the word of your game. Don't copy, but design something that the market has yet to deliver. Find a niche, a space. Try and find a new angle that has not been touched before. If it has been done before, and it's not oversaturated, just do it differently and, most importantly, better. Find ways to stand out with your artwork and gameplay and design. Give it its own look. Once you have a game, you need it to seriously stand out. This could be with the art, colour, or a style that's rarely used. It needs to pop on the phone to pique someone's interest. Think big. Think how you can expand the range. If the idea is good and has traction, your audience will want more. Think of this as you're designing. Think as your first project as The Hobbit, with the potential to follow it up with The Lord of the Rings. So my advice to you, designers, authors and producers, is to look out what is there and try and do the opposite. Thank you, I am Ollie Mac. Do like and subscribe if you want more. Feel free to comment below and I'll do my best to answer your questions.